The world runs on the rules. Follow the law, pay your taxes, play fair, and everything will work out just fine. Sounds about right, yeah? Until you start reading the news. The list of unlawful things that Microsoft been accused of, ooh, that's just the top 20 by the way. And what about Facebook? Ooh, playing games as well, not just with user data. And these are not just rumors, these are documented cases, fines, investigations going for years. And you know what? These companies are still there, operational, making money, hiring. Now let's go down. And for the people a bit lower, for things a bit lower than international corporations, government officials. How many corruption scandals have you heard about within last year? 10, 20? And how these people are doing? How many of them had a real serious consequences? Yeah. That's what I thought. And one layer below, smaller business, dodging insurance payments, not paying overtime, cheating in anything it's possible, and creating interesting gray zones. This is so common, it's not even a news. And yes, my name is Alex, you are watching Know the Game, and today we will discuss a very interesting topic. Should you even follow the rules and law? Let's start with the big guys, like Microsoft. European Union investigated them for 20 years, fined them for billions, threatened them, fining them for 10% of the global revenue. What happened in the end? Well, they made a deal. Fines cancelled. In the US, the FTC has been running a major investigation. Senator Wyden called Microsoft an arsonist selling firefighting services. The result? Microsoft keeps growing, keeps raising prices. And what about Facebook? Oh, sorry, Meta. The FTC spent 5 years trying to break up the company. A judge threw out the case. Not a monopoly, huh? And what about Apple and again Meta? They got fined by European law. But for the companies just like that, this is just like pocket change. Your money for coffee. But you see, at least this is about money, right? At least they not physically hurting anyone. Well, in that case, I have a case of Nestlé for you. In the 1960s and 70s, they went into Africa, Asia, Latin America, selling baby formula. They sell women dressed up as nurses, free samples in hospitals, ads saying formula is better than a breast milk. The problem? Well, let's put it this way. 60s, 70s, especially these years, people just didn't have access to a proper, clean, fresh water. Let's start with this one. Not to mention the interesting fact that they're trying to put down under the rug that all these mothers were issued samples lasting just enough to dry out their milk, so they had no choice but to switch to baby formula, which is extremely expensive for people in 60s and 70s in Asia, in Africa and Latin America. I remember in early 2000s that baby jokes were very popular, though not a very funny topic, especially with Nestlé case. More than 10 million babies. How about that, huh? And what did Nestlé's representative say at the US Senate hearing? Well, we cannot be responsible for water supply, The boycott against Nestlé started in 1977, lasting up to today, for 49 years. Have you even heard that there is a boycott for Nestlé? Huh? Nestlé is still one of the biggest corporations in the world. And in 2024, it was discovered that they still putting sugar in a baby food sold in Africa. Well, they did compare with the baby food they sell in Switzerland. No sugar there, but for Africa. So why are they still standing? Microsoft, Nestlé, a huge list of other companies. Well, because they are strategic, too big to shut down, and you don't punish them, you negotiate with them, especially when some companies having a very strategic place for certain agencies, like national defense-like agencies, and some are the biggest advertisement buyers. Therefore, media will never talk about the fact that there's a 49 years lasting boycott. Have you even heard about it, huh? And don't forget, sweet old lobbying. But let's go down the level to certain government officials. There's an interesting saying, if you want to steal 1 million, you need to steal 100 millions. And the good example will be in Ukraine. And especially because of recent cases since late 2025 with NABU, an organization, anti-corruption organization, implemented in Ukraine by United States and other Western countries, by the way. The list is huge, and this is just officially published about what's going on there. Wow, you might say, but actually there is no surprise there. If you truly followed the situation in Ukraine, well, no one did till 2022, let's be honest. But even Western media was pointing out the regime is corrupt, tyranny and other mumbo-jumbo is spreading there, and it's a real big issue. It's just, you see, after February 2022, this regime became useful. And it seems like right now, maybe agenda is changing. Though, you see, NABU did their job. They uncovered all of these. Still, main suspects just leaving to another country, going abroad, and never coming back, and there's nothing going on. Nobody is being arrested. Well, those who were arrested paid the money and get out. So maybe they still need them. But the main interesting fact, the NABU detectives got raided, arrested, and went through hell, and still having some difficulties. The guys who are fighting corruption. Hey, blogger, not the best example. It will just create a lot of fuzz within the comments. Is that what you're looking for? No, I'm looking at a perfect example exposing the mechanics. You see, simple mechanics are here. If you are part of the system, system protects you. If you're not, you will become the example. This thing works exactly the same, and in Ukraine, and in any other country. And yeah, I guess you are starting to get the point of this video and where am I going with this idea. Regular business, no scale, no connection, no strategic importance. Amazon banned hundreds of sellers with over $1 billion in combined revenues for fake reviews. Business built over years, gone in a day, just like that. And the gray zone are getting squeezed from all sides right now. In the European Union, the Digital Services Act, marketplaces must verify every seller, check product legality. No documents, you're out. Even in Russia, a new platform economy law. Tax authorities get automatic data from marketplaces, a unified seller registry. Meanwhile, marketplace fees keep going up. Sellers keep leaving. And the smaller you are, harder the consequences hit. And here's the part nobody likes to talk about. If you're not in Microsoft, when the rules tighten, your business is done. Not because it was a bad business, but because you only knew how to operate it in a gray zone. When the loopholes close, and they occasionally all close, there's nothing underneath. No skill to run a clean operation. No business model that works under the fair competition. This is a massive pattern. Former successful entrepreneurs who can't build anything in a new reality. The only thing they knew, how to get around the rules. The rules changed, and all their experience became worthless. So, should you stop following the rules, the law? No. Drop that idea completely. Breaking law is a privilege of, well, status scale, and connections. It's not where you start. It's where some people end up after decades. And even then, not all of them. If you are at the stage where you're building a business, a career, a life, the law is not optional. It's your foundation. One bad decision, and you're not a Microsoft negotiating with the European Union. You're the Amazon seller whose account got blocked with no way back. Because honestly, do you really believe that Amazon didn't know that their Amazon resellers were manipulating reviews? They knew it. It's just at certain stage, they still, needed those resellers. Same with your business. Maybe just government needs this kind of business for now. But just for now. We play by the law. Period. But there are other rules, not the one that's written in law. The ones you're following because that's how it's done, that's the right way, and everyone does it. To marry, you need a house, your own house, and a car. You always need a university degree to be successful in your life. You should work only in your field of study and only in the field of study and never change the job. Switching jobs is bad. You need to work a lot for the same company. Dedicate your life for the same company. Oof! You need to dedicate your life to someone's business. You can't switch career after the 30. You can't start without the capital. You need to live in a specific place to make it. Yada, yada, yada. Comments are open. Share with us what biases and nonsense people believe in your country of origin. Because these are the rules worth breaking. They are not based on a law. They are not even based on a logic. They are based on a habit, on a fear, on a something someone said once and everyone kept repeating. You see, you can't break the law. That's not your level. And the consequences will hit you very hard. But all these unwritten rules about how you should live your life, that's exactly what's keeping you in place. Break them with intention, with a plan, with a clear thinking, but break them. Anything not written in the law, open for rethinking. Everything that is written in the law, we follow. Not because we are saints, but because we are not big enough for the rules not to apply to us. Simple as that. Once that clicks, it gets much easier to understand where to put your energy to. Not into getting around the system, but into stop following someone else's script. And yeah, that's it for today. I hope these thoughts will change something in your life, in positive way, obviously. But this is it for me for today. Thank you so much for your attention. Your likes, comments are very welcomed and highly desirable. And yeah, subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss next video. But for today, I'm finished. Au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, всего доброго, всякого хадзадзен.